Welcome to a very special girl talk here tonight on TiarasGirls.com. If you are watching us live on Instagram, or maybe you're catching this on our new YouTube channel, we're so thankful that you are here with us. We have a very special guest tonight joining us for this live girl talk all the way from LA, California. I'm going to try to connect us here. Real quickly, let's see. I see Rosie. Okay, there we go. And as we connect with Rosie Rivera, which we are so thankful and humbled to have her here tonight. There she is.
Hi, Lilibeth.
Rosie,
How are you?
it's great to see you again.
Yes, it's great to see you again too.
You're a beautiful girl. Thank you so
too.
much for uniting your heart with ours, Rosie. I know that your time is valuable. I know that you are a wife, a mom, an entrepreneur, an author, a co-host on shows. I was reading on Despierta America, on Un Nuevo Dia. You have a podcast. I mean, you are Wonder Woman of today. And yet here you are just locking arms with us so that we can talk to the girls of today. Rosie, thank you.
Thank you. When I heard about Tiaras from Ingrid, I was in awe of you. Like, even before knowing you personally. Well, we've met through screens.
Yeah.
I'm just so honored and so happy that you are doing this. You know, I think we're a body, so everyone does different things in their realm, and we have different assignments. Yes. And your assignment, I can only imagine what you go through, because your assignment is so powerful. So I am happy to be here and give all of our followers the information, because there may be girls here in this life today that were thinking about suicide, that have been through so much and don't know how to get out. And women like you that are the light that can guide them. Oh, it's just so powerful.
Women like us, because when I read your book, it literally ministered to me, because I was telling Ingrid, it was very conversational. It was like you were sitting across the table from me and you were talking to me. I could see the preacher girl. I can see the warrior girl. I can see that you were a fighter. But I love the way that you constantly pointed us to the cross. You constantly pointed us to our greatest defender. And I believe that our girls need to know that they have a defender. You know, this September is Suicide Awareness Month. So I don't think it was a coincidence that Ingrid connected us during this time, for such a time as this. And I want really people to know, not just girls, but people to know that every 40 seconds on the globe, there is a suicide. Wow. The second highest cause of death in teen girls today is suicide. The second. That means that when we run into girls at the mall or at church or in our classroom, one of them may be contemplating suicide. When I read those stats, when I see what my father has whispered to me, the dreams that he's given me, I know that it aches his heart. So he's going to mobilize us and lock us together and bring us together to be a voice for the voiceless. That's what I feel like we're doing tonight. So our mission at Tiaras is to rewrite her stats in these areas. And as I read, you know, and I know that really provoked you to lock arms with us. You know, when I read your book and I shared this question with you, you point them to God being a defender. At one point, did God himself become your defender? Like, you felt that in your walk, that he became your defender?
When I let him, really, I think he was ready. I think he was like, I'm doing this. And then I think I got in his way a lot. I mean, as a child, no, but as a teenager, when I started to find different ways of coping with my pain or looking for revenge, I kind of got in his way. But at 25, when I gave my life to him, I was actually thinking of suicide that night. I had already tried it at 16. I had tried it again around 20 something. And then at 25, I was like, okay, this is it. I'm done. I can't anymore. My current husband had raped me, which I believe that even though there was marriage and, you know, there was definitely no consent. He was drunk and I didn't want to. And I told him, and it was very verbal, and he didn't care. He did what he wanted, and then he threw me out the hotel room. in his t-shirt. So I was mortified, embarrassed, in
Wow.
pain.
Wow.
And then I said, you know what? I'm done. I can't anymore. And in that moment, divorce, I hope people understand that in the moment of darkness, other options don't seem real. Divorce did not seem like an option. I don't know why. I still keep my heart tender to people that think that suicide might be the only option, because I get you, because I can still remember, like, no, I can't get divorced. I can't go back to my mom's. I'm just like this worthless person. My daughter would be better without me. She was 2 years
Wow.
old. And I thought, I'm such a mess that if I'm gone and my mom raises her, her life will be better. That was what I was thinking in the darkness. And I was ready. I was ready to commit suicide. And thank God, and screaming in the middle of the street, like on some pills and some alcohol, I told God, do whatever you want with my life. Like, just take it, because I'm done with it. I just want to die. And I'm glad he did, because I woke up and he took my life, and it's never been the same since. And so I know from personal experience the hopelessness, the pain, the darkness, the how tired you can be of your whole life feeling like a battle, and just saying, I just want to rest. Like, I just want to rest from the pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've read that 1 in 3 girls is sexually violated by age 10. And those are the girls that are brave enough to say it's happened to me, right? It's one
Yeah.
in 5 boys by age 10. And I read that one of the greatest reasons for attempted suicide is sexual abuse. Another one is bullying, a
Wow.
broken heart, right? There's
Yeah.
these 3 factors. And it's usually, it's significant that you said 16, because I'm constantly trying to make moms aware. It happens, the average age is 16 for suicide.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Oh my
we have
Lord.
to be
Praying
so
for,
aware. Yes,
in
we have
general,
to be.
just praying for our youth.
Yes,
Like, you know?
yes. We have to do
Yeah.
everything that we can to see them, to help them feel safe, to help
Yeah.
them feel seen. You know, I
Yeah.
see them in the malls. I see them in church. I just want to hug every teen, because we
Yeah.
never know
Me too.
what they're really going through. You know, we don't know what's
Yeah,
happening
exactly.
inside. Um, as we you shared your story, and I know that your beautiful sister Jenny,
Yeah.
she believed you. I read that she believed you. Can you tell us what difference did that make in your healing?
It was 1,000% different. I mean, to have someone that you go to, the first person that I told, believe me, is astronomical, because there are some people that the first person they tell doubts them, and then the second person, and then thank God they continue to tell someone. But the fact that it was her husband, that it was the father of her children, and she still believed me, is even, it is sometimes what I have learned from my psychologist, from my therapist at the time, that the person can cause as much or more pain even than the abuser. The disbelief, the doubt, the denial, the blaming, like, well, what did you do, or it's not true, or stop lying, that can cause as much or more damage, because there is a tie there, there's blood there, there's expectation and relationship there. Obviously it depends, usually it's a mom or a dad, but in this case I saw Jenny like a mom, and this was her first husband, and I was scared, and her believing me took this weight off my shoulders, off of my chest, that I was just afraid that no one would believe me. I had nothing to prove it other than my word, and I was a mess. You know, I was 16 and partying and drinking, and there was so many reasons why she could have victim blamed me and didn't. So it really helped me heal. It gave me strength. It gave me hope. It gave me hope. And she didn't only listen to me, she took action. She said, let's make a police report. Let's start looking for him whenever you're ready. I thank her, because she waited till I was ready, but she was like, let's go. I'm not just going to sit here and have a pity party. Compassion takes action. And that's when I knew that compassion is so powerful for healing.
Wow, compassion takes action. I wish I would have had the honor to meet her. She sounds like she was a fierce woman, a fierce warrior. Your mom obviously raised warrior girls. You know, I could
Yes.
see the fighter spirit in your book as it unraveled. What
Yeah.
healing steps do you feel like you took from going from survivor to conqueror? And I ask that because a lot of us will stay survivor mindset. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor of
Yeah.
sexual abuse. But I feel like you are a conqueror. And I want our girls to know that they can be conquerors. There's a part in your book where you said you had to literally exchange the ashes for beauty.
Yeah.
So,
There's a
what?
difference.
Yeah,
The journey can go from victim to survivor to victorious. And we, our pace is different. So don't compare your healing process to anyone else. But
right.
for me, surviving to me felt like water was up to here. Like I'm
Yeah,
living, but I'm
yeah,
not free. I'm living, but I always feel like I'm 2 steps away from drowning. And
right.
that was exhausting for me. So I went from survivor to victorious when I understood the hope that I had for relationships, for self-love, for healing, because sometimes just that hopelessness of like, I'm not really going to be able to have a healthy marriage. I mean, I could get married, but it's always going to be bad. I'm a mess. Like, so it was that hope that I found in Christ that was real. And
Mm-hmm.
and I knew that I became victorious when I started helping other women. That's, I think, where you see this strength in you that you don't even know you have, that I don't
Right,
know where it comes from other than God. But
right.
there's this power in when you're hurting, or when you're in your process of healing, maybe you're not done just yet, but you see someone that's a little bit behind and you're like, I'll walk with you. I've been there
Yeah.
before. I know the way. And it becomes this chain of someone that's been there before me. I'm holding her hand, but I'm also holding someone else's hand. And then that's when I'm like, I'm victorious now because I took my control back. I'm going to
Right,
deal with this at my time, my way, whether it's therapy, counseling,
right, right.
church, music. There's so many things. But when I really started speaking to other girls, hearing other girls, because I still didn't have the answers. It's not like, oh, you have to know everything and have the solution. I just started listening to other girls,
Mm-hmm.
praying with them, hugging them, doing life with them. And
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, whoa, I'm victorious. I'm soaring over this. And it was kind of gradual. The more I spoke about it, the more power I gained back, the more
Mm-hmm.
healing there was, the more I got out of me to pour in peace and love. So
Yes.
for me, it was when in my pain, in my healing, I helped someone else.
Yes, I can so relate with what you're saying. It is healing to pull back the girl behind you, the girl beside you. I do believe that there is healing power in that. It's
It's
love
like
activated.
putting your pain, transforming your pain into purpose. Like, you
Yeah.
know what? If I
Yeah.
went through this and I don't even know why yet, I don't have the answer yet, but I'm going to use this for purpose. If I
Right.
see someone else that needs, that I even know a little bit about it, I'm going to help her, or I'm going to guide her to the person that does, the person that's helping me right now.
Right.
Those little steps, just, you're like, hey, like this isn't kicking my butt anymore. I'm kicking its butt. And that's
Right.
what it did for me.
Right. So good. Thank you for your transparency. What would you tell the mom that maybe is watching us tonight, or the tia that has a teen girl in her life? What signs should they look for if someone is either suicidal, a teen is suicidal? What should they be looking for? Because sometimes, it affected our family and we miss the signs.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, for me, it was gradual. I think obviously every situation is different. For me, it was gradual. It started on me not taking care of my hygiene, which, they're teenagers, maybe they don't, but the unhealthy way I was eating, when you just could tell that someone doesn't really care about themselves,
mhm,
and it's different than before, like it's just like, hey, she used to, have good hygiene. She used to, you know, do this, and she's not doing that anymore. She's not reading anymore. She's not going out to her dance class anymore. Hey, is something
right.
going on? It's that change. There's a drastic change in attitude
Mhm.
of like, all of a sudden she's always upset, and it's not like the mood swings we may go through. It's just like this drastic change from who she was.
Yeah.
And maybe an isolation. I think when people are hurting, at least myself, I want to isolate, and I will be alone, and I'll stay in bed or not really talk to anyone.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's good just to show up at the door. I know it's scary because you're like, oh, what if she wants to be alone? She also wants that hand. She also wants someone to rescue her. She
Yeah.
just doesn't know who wants to rescue her. And obviously Christ rescues us, but we make the movement. We are the body, and just knocking on a door and, hey, I brought you some Starbucks. Who can say no to Starbucks, right?
Right.
Or, hey, it's some tea, and here's this note, and I brought you a flower, and want to go for a walk? Like, maybe not go so hard on like, hey, you smell and you haven't been to dance class. What's wrong with you? It's more like,
Yeah.
I just want to spend time with you. Let's spend some time together. But if you feel it, if you think it, if you see a difference, take action. And it's not, oh, she wants attention. It's actually the opposite. It's like, I don't want you to see me. They're trying to hide within their own life.
Right. Those are all great and valuable indicators. Definitely, I've seen those. I've seen the isolation is a sure one. The volatility, maybe dropping out of high school, suddenly being an A student, going to an F student. Gender confusion is another one. Gender identity confusion is a huge one that I've seen. I think we've helped them at least see some of these indicators. A lot of times our teens just need us to really see them. Just see them for where they are. We forget what it's like to be a teenager. And the fact that it's 1 in 3 girls, we know that if you have a youth group of 100 girls, do you know that 30 of them have been violated in some way? And that trauma can just be hurting them inside. And there's a girl inside screaming, asking, to be rescued, to be helped, to point her to her defender. September 10th is World Suicide Prevention Day. This literally, Rosie, keeps me up at night. Sometimes I wake up, or my father wakes me up from 1 to 4. I don't know why he chooses 1 to 4 a.m., but he does, to pray for the souls on earth that are contemplating suicide. It literally aches my soul. And when I know that it's every 40 seconds, I mean, it's affected people like Kate Spade. It's affected you and I. I had a recent teen that we lost. Her name was Asia. 16 is that number for some reason, that the enemy is robbing them so much from us. And she was found, she hung herself like Kate Spade did. So we have to just be so aware of the teens in our lives, because the enemy's doing a number on us with them. He's robbing potential, he's robbing dreams, he's robbing future marriages, future entrepreneurs, future presidents. It's on us to really pause what we're doing. We're living on this earth during this time for a reason. It's on us to just take a moment to look at them. What would you maybe tell the girl, Rosie, this is personal, but what would you maybe tell the girl that hasn't come forward? How could you give her some courage, that fighter spirit that you have, that I read in your book, to come forward, to bring it to light? Because this I know, you cannot heal what you don't acknowledge. And when it stays in the darkness, the enemy just does a number with it, and he will not let you even rest when you keep it in the dark. It just continues to grow and fester. So what words could you maybe encourage her to bring it to light? And maybe there's someone tonight that is contemplating their suicide.
There are different ways of speaking. It doesn't first have to be the police. It doesn't first have to be, it can be, find a person, think of a person that loves you, that you know, or that you love and admire and respect. It's usually someone a little bit older or can actually take action. Telling our friends, it can help because you begin to form the words. But I began with my journal. I began just writing the words, abuse and sex and molestation and rape. I couldn't even before. So I tried writing it, and then I'd rip it up so no one would see it. And then when the thought just came in my head, I took action that moment. I didn't ponder on it too much. It's like, before you even change your mind, go with your instinct, go with your gut. And I did it for an outside source. I did it for my nieces and nephews. So find that reason, find that source. What is it? Find that reason. Is it so he or she doesn't hurt other people? Is it so that your abuse stops? It can be a different reason. But once you find that source, let it fuel you. So in case someone's reaction isn't what you think, you're like, okay, hurts a little bit, stings, but this is my reason. And so whenever you feel it in your thought, call a hotline. Believe me, private hotlines are sometimes the best, because they're not seeing you cry. They don't know your face, but they heard you and they believe you. And then you think, I can do that again. And then call another hotline. Join chat rooms. Sometimes it's easier to be anonymous. Sometimes it's easier to DM someone like Lily Beth or like myself. We will try to answer, but just the fact that you got it out of you.
Yes.
And that is preparing you to one day tell the person of authority that can help you get out. And there's different ways and there's different times. It's never too late and it's never too early. It's not like you have failed if it was 10 years ago or you're 40 years old. It's never too late. God is ready now. And there will be people that believe you, because now we know the stats that only 1%, because everyone thinks, oh, there's so many liars. 1 out of 100 people that say that story lie. So people like me are like, I'd rather err on believing someone that lied than not believing someone that's telling the truth. So I'm going to believe because it's real and it's true. And what I always say is the greatest weapon, the greatest, because there may be several weapons. The greatest weapon that the abuser has is your silence. Take that weapon away from him and he begins to shake. The enemy will try and put shame on you. And he's been putting shame on you since day one. It's your fault. What were you wearing? What did you do? What could you have done? If it were someone else, what do you look like? And he's just putting shame. But when you speak it out, it puts the shame on him. So sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to put shame on him. When he's trying to shame me, I said, what's really going on here? The truth is that the shame is on him and not on you, and strip the abuser of that weapon. And God is going to just step in. Authorities will step in. There are so many organizations in the US or in the world that are ready to step in and say, I can help you. So there will be help. I know it seems like there isn't, like you're alone, but you're not. You're there. We will walk with you.
Yes, you are not alone. You can DM us here at Tiaras Girls. You can DM Rosie, who makes herself available. Myself, we have a team of counselors that also volunteer with us. We also have a digital virtual experience that you can register for free. The Teen Girl in Your Life. You can go to TiarasGirls.com and receive that link. The conference itself is not only free, it was not free to us. Ingrid Rosario partnered with us to create this experience. It is our way of depositing in your girl who and whose she is. We just want her to know that she is God's daughter, that she is seen, that she is loved, that she belongs to someone, that she has a defender. And I want all the girls to know and see your book. I'm going to be reading it with my daughter. She's a teenager. She's 16. So I'm going to read it with her. And I'm just going to read a part here that impacted me so much, Rosie. On page 196, it says, you may have experienced something that forever altered you physically or emotionally. You will bear those scars, undoubtedly, but just as physical scars make the affected area tougher, so you can come through this experience stronger, better, just like Daniel. What I'm saying is that what God can do in your life, how he can make you stronger and wiser and more compassionate because of your pain, more powerful in the wake, is because it's miraculous. I know this because I've lived it. These are Rosie's words. It began with an exchanging what had changed me for letting God grow me and mature me, and he will do it for you. This is the exchange that I was referring to. She exchanged her ashes for his beauty. It was an exchange. That was one of my favorite parts.
What's so beautiful about God is that, you know, sometimes you want an exchange to be equal. Like, you know, you pay $100 for some shoes or $5 for a Starbucks. It's with God, the exchange. I mean, you bring a broken heart, you bring some pain, some anger. You know, I'm really mad right now, God. And he exchanges it for peace, for love, mercy. And you're like, how is this possible? But that's how I see prayer now, as an exchange. You know, I'm just going to come as is. I'm not going to pretend. I'm really hurt, Jesus, and I'm just going to sit here and cry with you. And that's all I got today. I'm just going to sit here and cry. I don't even have, you know, I'll probably say one thank you, but then I'm just going to cry. And the exchange is so gorgeous. And those are the things where you're like, well, you know, God is so amazing, and he always gives you more than you even think. So
I know.
Go into that exchange. You have some ashes, he'll give you beauty. And that's from Isaiah. It's one of the 60s, 61,
Yes.
62.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you know what? There's Psalms that are like, he changed my tears for dancing, for, wow. Or the person that eats in pain. Have you ever been in so much pain that you're eating, which I love to do, and crying? Like, oh my gosh, I've done it.
Yes,
I've
I've
done
been
it.
there.
And then I think, but the Bible says that one day I'm going to come back dancing. Like, there's just going to be joy in change for these tears. And then I'm like, okay, now I can enjoy my food. Because you know what? Even my tears, God will exchange. So that it's just,
This is so
God is just
true.
so wonderful. He's near to the
Yeah.
brokenhearted.
He
Remember
is.
that. If you are brokenhearted, he's near.
Yeah.
And ask for him to reveal, where are you then? Like, where are you in this situation now? You're near me. Maybe I can't see you or hear you, but you're near, and
Yes.
and your eyes will be open to it. It may be a child that comes and hugs you, a smile from a stranger as you walk in the park, and God will say, hey, I'm right here. And I pray that you can see it and that you can hear it. And every time you search for him, you're gonna find him. So keep that hope, that expectation of he's near me, because I'm brokenhearted right now, Jesus. And if there's anything good out of this, it's that you're near me.
Amen. He is a very personal God. He is an intentional God. I was exchanging today words with a close friend that we have in common, Vane, and we were talking about his essence. The essence of God is so pure. His love is so unconditional. I remember last year being on a beach shore, crying like you're saying, snot cry, painful cry. You're like, Father, I can't anymore. My Jeep was parked. I'm parked on the shore, and I'm just, woe is me, everything. I'm writing to him. He knows everything, but I'm just writing everything out. And as the sun is setting, Rosie, I remember just looking at the sun, and he tells me, I see everything that you've written, but you didn't write there. I've never broken your heart.
Oh,
You gave me your heart at 16.
yes.
And I've never broken your heart.
I feel him. That's so good.
I can feel his presence right now. When he
Yes, me
said that to
too.
me, I was like, Father, I'm so sorry. You're right. That's who God is. His love is so perfect. He is love. The Bible says God is love. He will hold you so tenderly. And I know you're probably thinking, I've heard this from my daughter. I can't hear him. I can't see him. Just open your heart to him. Talk to him. He will make himself known to you, just like he did to Rosie, like he's done for me. He loves you.
He wants to. He's not playing hide and seek with you. He wants to. He just won't intrude without your permission. He's a gentleman.
The gentleman.
But he's just like, I'm waiting. And as soon as you ask, the word says that if you have no other words, the Holy Spirit is your helper. Just say help. Help. Just, I have no other prayer other than help, and he will come and help you. He is ready, and he will reveal himself to you. He has written the word. He has made music. He has nature reveals him. He is ready, and that is, to me, I see it as such a privilege. Like, he wants to talk to me. He wants to spend, he is just like, every minute, you can't talk too much to him. You can't cry too much to him. He's not going to be like, oh, again? No, it's like, give me more, daughter. Like, I'm ready to hear you. I love that about him. I love that at any time of day, whether it's 1 a.m. for you or while I'm jogging at the beach, I can say, hey, Jesus, like, what's going to go on today? Like, I wake up when I'm feeling really down, when I forget, because we all still go through it. It's not an age thing. It's not how many years you've been a Christian. It's not like a lack of faith. It's life. We live here on this earth. We go through pain. And I start feeling like I'm beating myself up, or the world is, or the situation. I'll ask him. It seems so weird, but I'm like, do you love me? Oh, girl, those are the best, because he will remind me. I can cry. I can cry of the ways that he has shown me, oh, I love you. And he is ready to give, to overflow his love for you. So one day just ask him, hey, God, do you love me? Why do you love me? Like, what do you think about me? I love those questions. And I think he does too, because sometimes he'll say, oh, now we're talking. And because he created you, he knows you. So he's ready to tell you, you know, oh, okay, I like you because of this. I like your voice. I like the way you talk. I like the way you use so many metaphors, and it annoys everyone else, but to Jesus, it's great. So when, even if you don't have like a lot of word knowledge, or, you know, just like a friend, like, hey, like if you were your boyfriend, why do you like me? Oh, he's gonna, and that answer, you're gonna love it.
Prayer is just talking to God. I know that we over spiritualize prayer sometimes with teenagers. It's just talking to God. And sometimes our greatest prayers are our tears. He knows what we're saying with even our tears. But know that he is a tender God, that you're not alone. And as you do see the sunset, the Bible refers to the sunset, the sky, as the vault. I love that. I'm constantly reminding my teens of that. That's the vault. There's so much majesty, and it's a different painting every night when you look at the sunset, right? It is a vault. And Psalms 139 says that you are beautifully, fearfully, and wonderfully made.
Yes.
And if you didn't know that, you are not an accident, because I believed I was an accident in my 20s and the enemy did a number with me. So just know that you are not an accident. And the fact that God brought us together tonight just to share with you, even if one person comes forward, if one girl doesn't go through with her plan, to me, it was worth this conversation from coast to coast. From Miami to LA, God has united us. And I see a lot of you saying hi in Spanish. Thank you for uniting with us. I see Puerto Rico, Argentina, Chile. Está con nosotros. Sí, yo sé que le debemos esta charla en español. Perdónenos esta noche que empezamos en inglés. Veo sus comentarios y sepan que los amamos, que Dios las ama también. En algún futuro tiempo tendremos una conversación.
Sí, sí, lo hacemos otra vez cuando gustes. Yo creo que Sister Somalia y Tiaras se van a unir más, nos vamos a unir más para nuestra comunidad, para for the girl. Me encanta cómo dices eso, para la joven, por ella.
Yes. Tell us about Sister Somalia as we wrap up our time together. Tell us.
Sister Somalia es una organización que pues hemos creado, mis amigas y yo, simplemente somos mujeres que hemos pasado por lo mismo y nos unimos vía WhatsApp. Ahorita nos estamos uniendo por Zoom, donde hacemos estudio bíblico, donde estamos ahorita haciendo la lectura, nos comunicamos. Tengo una co-líder que se llama Hilson, que ella me apoya a comunicarse con las jóvenes y eso es lo que nos damos, apoyo. Hacemos vida juntas. No somos consejeras o psicólogas, somos simplemente mujeres y hombres que han vivido esto y que estamos ahí para caminar, unidos, de mano en mano. Y my publisher, mi editora, ha donado 1,000 libros a Sister Somalia para que, de Dios es tu defensor, o God is your defender, para donar a organizaciones como Tiaras, porque sé que ustedes van y coronan a jóvenes, ¿verdad? So, when you give them baggies, cuando les des ese regalo, estará mi libro ahí para completamente gratis y para darles ese resource, porque a veces la consejería es cara, a veces no es posible o no están listas, you know, it takes time, pero tal vez conectarte con alguien a través de un libro te puede apoyar muchísimo.
Claramente. Gracias, Rosy, por ese regalo que nos da para nuestros eventos. Estamos planeando no solamente eventos virtuales que pueden ir a TiarasGirls.com, pero estamos planeando eventos en vivo en Santo Domingo, en Chicago, en Tennessee.
Yo quiero ir, I want to go. Yo quiero ir, al que sea.
I would be honored to be crowning with you, because esto me dijo el Señor, la noche que me dio el sueño, me dijo, quiero que vayas de nación en nación, que la mires a sus ojos, que las corones en su lenguaje y que le diga que yo las amo, que son hijas de rey, daughters of a king. Use pitifiwa in Creole. In Haiti, we crown them in Creole. It was Use pitifiwa. And Rosie, I will never forget the parade of girls as they leave the conferences. They feel so empowered because they don't know.
I want you to do it to me too. Like I'm getting the chills. Siento al Señor al pensar, así como el rey puso a Esther, la corona sobre Esther, así como somos la diadema de Dios en su mano, así como mi padre me dice princesa o me decía princesa, y piensas que la situación, el abandono, el abuso, te quitó esa corona, pero no, Dios ahí la tiene, y a veces necesitamos ese recordatorio físico para recordarnos, you know. Oh, eso es tan poderoso. That is so powerful.
Voy a estar orando por ese día que podamos ir juntas y tener a Ingrid también ahí y a Vane. And just girl power for our father.
Vane es la pastora, pues, de segadores en Miami, y ella hace las conferencias de Redoma. Para ustedes que la quieren conocer, síganla, a Vane Gracia Cruz. Increíble mujer de Dios. Like, that's a whole nother life. She's just amazing. Yo la admiro muchísimo. Entonces, ¿te imaginas tú y Ingrid Rosario y Vane y yo? Yes, I'm so excited.
Girl power, Rosie. I feel like I've known you all my life. Te estoy diciendo que te he conocido toda mi vida. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you for your humbleness, your love. You make me braver. You don't know the season that I've just came out of. I needed this reminder myself.
Wow.
That he is my defender. That I don't have to defend my name, my daughter's name. That he walks before us. Thank you for your brave.
It's such an honor.
Courage.
It's an honor.
Where can the girls find your book? Is it on?
Amazon, Barnes Noble, todas las plataformas. Pueden ir a diosestudefensor.com y ahí ves las plataformas en tu área. God is your defender en inglés. Dios es tu defensor, pero Amazon is probably the easiest. Or Barnes Noble.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, girls, and all the beautiful people that are with us tonight, whether you're watching this live on Tiaras Girls tonight or you're on our YouTube channel. Please hug, love the teen in your life. Point her to the cross.
Amen.
Remind her that she is loved. And if you're watching tonight and you're at that place, send us a DM. Talk to someone that's safe. Talk to someone that you love, that you admire. Talk to God. I promise you that he will find a way to let his voice be heard in your life. You are loved by him.
Yes. Amen.
There's no greater love than his. Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you. I love you so much. I hope to talk to you soon. I love you. Bye, everyone. Los quiero. Dios les bendiga. Bye.
Bye.